guys, welcome back to my windy rooftop. It's time for another Saudi Arabia coronavirus vlog. Today is Monday, April 13th. It's about 5:40 p.m. and it's time to go over some of the new cases and the news. For the fifth day in a row, Saudi Arabia is breaking records with the number of new cases confirmed for COVID-19. Today there were 472 new cases of the coronavirus, bringing the kingdom total to 4,934 cases. That's bad. And the world total went up about 79,000, bringing us to 1,874,000 total cases. Looking like we're going to hit 2 million worldwide within 2 days. Saudi Arabia got 44 new recoveries and 6 more deaths, bringing the total recoveries to 805 and the total deaths to 65. Of the 472 new cases in Saudi Arabia, 118 in Riyadh, 95 in Mecca, 113 in Medina, 80 in Jeddah, 22 in Tabuk, 8 in Arar. Arar is up there near Kuwait. 8 in Taif, 8 in Kulais, not sure how to Kulais, I don't know how to say it, 7 in Hafuf, and 5 here in Khamis Mushait. So it looks like we're not really getting any more cases in Abha, but Khamis keeps going up and up. So let's talk about some of the news. Not a whole lot of news today. I do have a lot of viewer questions I'm going to answer, but first the news. The big story is that the Saudi Arabia Minister of Islamic Affairs said that the mosque prayer suspension is going to continue as long as the pandemic stays in Saudi Arabia. This means that it's going to continue through Ramadan, which is beginning in 10 days, I believe. And it's kind of a big deal. Saudi Arabia is a very, very religious country. People go to the mosques all the time. In fact, even just standing from my rooftop, I'm not going to go through and count exactly how many mosques I can see, but I'm sure that if I did a full 180, I could see more than 24 more than 24 mosques. And even the evening prayers at Ramadan, where people usually go and they go to the mosque for their sunset prayer, that's not happening as well. So this suggests, there's even a mosque right there. There. This even suggests that the Hajj will be canceled this year. I earlier made a prediction that Saudi Arabia would allow people in the kingdom to do the Hajj, but not to come into Saudi. But I think that prediction is probably wrong, and now I think it's pretty safe to say that the Hajj will be canceled this year. It's not without precedent. It's been canceled, I don't know, about 40 times before. And it might be too premature to ask the question, but I'll go on record as asking it now. Is the Hajj going to be canceled next year? Obviously, I don't have any answers for that, but it's something to think about. It could be a long problem, but we'll see. And I think I mentioned yesterday, I'm not sure if I did, that the curfews, I should say, that have been imposed on various municipalities, governorates, and cities and provinces all across the kingdom are extended indefinitely. So there will probably be a curfew in the kingdom for months. Until I leave, there will be a curfew all the way through the time when I'm supposed to leave, which is in about 1 month. And now we're going to answer some viewer questions. And if you're watching this video and you want me to answer a question, if you want to get my thoughts on something, or if you're not sure about something, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll answer them in the YouTube comments, or maybe in a future video. It's good that I get comments, because on slow news days like today, it gives me something to pad out my videos with. All right, so Untitled Soul asks, when do you think COVID-19 will end? I think it'll probably end end? What does it mean to end? I suspect honestly that it's going to exist for 5 years from now in certain parts of the world, just like Ebola, which started I think in 2014, 2015. It still exists in pockets of the Congo and other far-flung regions of Africa. And I think COVID-19 will be the same way. I think it's going to exist in parts of Africa, maybe even parts of Yemen, perhaps parts of China, perhaps parts of India, which I think is going to get really hard hits in the coming months. And it's even possible, even if a vaccine is rolled out and given to 75% of the world, it's possible that I don't know, bioterrorists will freeze it, or purposely just stagger infections in order to keep it going. And all the anti-vax people who don't want to get vaccines or can't get them might still be at risk. And if it reinfects, if you can get it again, and we're not sure about that, we think it's probably an immunity for a certain amount of time anyway. People are saying SARS and MERS were about 3 years, so they think maybe COVID-19 is about the same 3 years immunity, but it's still too early to say. So I think the disease itself will exist for more than 5 years. How long will this crazy pandemic go on for? I think probably, well, it's going on until we get a vaccine, and until that vaccine can be rolled out and distributed for most of the people in most of the countries. At least the important countries, the wealthy countries that can get this vaccine first. I think we'll get the vaccine for COVID-19 in December, January, or February. So at the soonest, I think like 8 months away, but probably like February, or I think of 2021. And then it'll take a few months or years, perhaps. I don't know exactly what goes into making a vaccine, however long it takes to roll that out on the general population. So it could be a long time. I think eventually people, this summer, in a few months, people are just going to say, screw it, I'm going back to work, I'm going to reopen the economy, and then we're going to get another wave. And then it might go on and on. So I really don't know, but that's my intuition. Sami Alotaibi asks, summertime in Saudi will kill the coronavirus, do you think? I think no, Sammy. Supposedly that the virus can survive for minutes in boiling water. I don't think hot weather, even, sometimes Saudi Arabia we get 40 degrees Celsius weather. That's like, I don't know, 110, 120 Fahrenheit. And I don't think that's going to be enough to kill the virus. I think really we just got to wash our hands, get lots of sleep, stay home, just basic sanitation and preventative measures. When it comes to any kind of illness, like almost everything in life, preventing it is the best thing that we can do. And even if it survives, even if for some reason it did die in the hot parts of Saudi Arabia, it would still live on in places high up in the mountains like Abha, Khamis, I think Tabuk is up in the mountains too, Bisha. And it could still come back into the kingdom through asymptomatic people who are coming back to the kingdom in September, October, or whenever. So I don't think that summer will kill this virus. I got another great question here. Thank you for the questions so far. This question says, what more can Saudi Arabia do to control the spread of the virus? Now, I'm not in the room with these decision makers, obviously. I'm not an epidemiologist. It's not my job. What more can they do? Well, they could put the 24-hour curfew on the whole kingdom and basically shut down business. They could do door-to-door food deliveries, I guess. I don't know if they got the infrastructure and the capabilities for that yet. They could do mail-in testing, I guess, if people could be trusted to test themselves appropriately. I don't know. They're doing a lot so far to confront this threat, and they're doing a fairly good job, although the cases keep going up and up. That's a great question, though, and if you have a comment that you want to answer any of these questions or this question, you let me know what you think Saudi Arabia could be doing more to confront COVID-19. All right, 2 more questions. Gabriella asks, what positives do you see from what is happening right now? It's not really a situation for optimism. It could expose China on the world stage. I think it's already done a pretty good job about doing that, and their authoritarian failings and persecutions of journalists, denial of science, which is also happening in America, and has been for a while. Other positives, I guess, if you count exposing, those people as a positive. Another positive is that the environment, carbon emissions are way down, flights are down, carbon emissions are down. I've seen some pictures of Delhi in India and some other smog-ridden cities in China, like a before and after, and the cities are looking much cleaner now. The air quality's up, so that's great. And it took a pandemic for us to get serious about. Well, we weren't serious about doing anything for the environment, really. It was just sort of a side effect. But that's a good thing. Anytime that humans just get out of the way and let nature start to heal, that's good. It's too little, too late, but better than nothing. And most importantly, I hope anyway, that this virus is going to cause a renaissance in international cooperation between governments and agencies. So I think there are some silver linings to it. It's possible that in America we could finally get some kind of Medicare for all single-payer healthcare system like Canada or Norway or Denmark or Tanzania or China. Hopefully of better quality than all those places, but it's about time. And maybe even for a universal basic income, but I doubt it. And last question, thank you for your question, Gabriella. Last question says, since your travel date is coming closer, about a month, what are you going to miss about Saudi Arabia? If a good offer comes from Saudi, will you come back again? What am I going to miss about Saudi Arabia? I'll miss the weather. The weather is beautiful, actually. It's the best year-round weather I've ever experienced in my life living in Khamis. It got a little cold in the winter. It was a little hot in the summer when I came. But generally speaking, the weather has been fantastic. It's dry, it's windy, it's not too hot because I'm up in the mountains at like 2,200 meters. It's like 6,600 feet in elevation. I love the weather here. And I love some of the food too, as well. I love Indian food. I love Arabian food, actually. And, you just can't get cheap, high quality foods like this back in America unless you cook them yourself. But I'm not very good at cooking most complex Indian dishes. And last, I guess the follow-up, if a good offer comes back from Saudi, will I come back? If it was a short job, I would consider it. I think life's too short to spend too long in any one location. After a year and a half in China, it was time to go. And I spent too long there, to be honest. I've only been in Saudi for about 7 months. I'll be here for another month, if all goes well. The pay would have to be pretty good, but unfortunately the days of English teachers who are making, $6,000, $7,000 a month, those are gone, long gone. So I don't think that I will ever come back to Saudi Arabia, to be honest. But if a job came by that was saying, oh, just come here for 1 semester and we'll give you $5,500 tax-free US dollars a month, I would definitely come back. But I don't see it happening. Although I did enjoy my time here. I made a lot of money. I just think honestly, I think it's kind of a boring country to live in, especially as a Westerner. We just come with certain expectations and habits that Saudi Arabia can't really meet. So once was enough. But thanks for your question, guys. If you have a question, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll I'll see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, and all the rest.